Deepak, one of the nice experiences that you gave me this week was that you took me to the mud wrestling, and I wrestled with a wrestler named Happy, and then I wrestled with him on the mat also. So that was a nice experience to have the same wrestler on the mud and on the mat. And he's a very gifted wrestler on the mat, but he's a phenomenal wrestler in the mud. It was absolutely no comparison. On the mat, he was a little bit better than me, or whatever, 30% better than me. But when we got on the mud, he was 100% better than me. So what the differences that I noticed were, okay, first of all, in the mud, one of the nice things is that you can, it's not actually mud, it's actually like sand.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit wet. It's not very muddy. It's a little bit wet, I guess, so it sticks to you and it doesn't make a lot of dust when you're wrestling. But the thing is that you get a really firm grip on your opponent because you use the mud. And then what else? And then of course the rule. The biggest difference, I guess, is the rule is the win. In Dungo wrestling is the back touches the ground and that's the win. And in mat wrestling, of course, you have all the points and rules, and then the pin is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So could you tell me a little bit about the differences? When the guys are moving from mud to mat and so forth, what kind of difficulties do they have?
Yeah. So like I told you, mostly they are mud wrestling schools, soil wrestling schools, and the routine of this school is mainly to make your stamina more longer, and that's why they practice every day on the mud, and they practice for long time. Even a student, even like my son is around 13-14 year old, he practices for 30 minutes, 40 minutes every day. And then they get to compete in dangles, which are happening.
Oh, just to be clear, when he says he practices for 30 to 40 minutes, he actually practices for several hours. He fights for 30 to 40 minutes every day. Yeah, let's be clear on that. The sparring sessions are insane. They spar for 30 to 40 minutes every single day.
If you consider each and every training, then it is going to be 2-3 hours session, 2-3 hours every day. But on the akhada, continuously he do jor. It's called jor. It may be called practice or fight in the akhada. So he continuously do it for 30-40 minutes, which is a very long time. So that's how they develop a long stamina, and that is how they get to compete for long in Kushti wrestling matches. And when the Kushti wrestling matches happen, they are for long time, and when somebody goes down, nobody says stop and get up and do it again.
You don't have passivity?
No, don't have passivity. And so it has to go on for a long time. So sometimes it gets slow, sometimes the wrestlers are slow, and mat wrestling, it is not about for 30 minutes, so it is going to be faster. It is not about stamina, but it is about speed. So when the Indian wrestler go to mat, they find a problem, because the time they takes to warm up the match, the time
it's already finished.
It's already finished. So this is the difference. And then more and more akhadas in India are adapting to mud wrestling and mat also. Almost all the big akhadas of India, they almost have mats, but wrestling is everywhere in India. So there are not many big akhadas, but there are little small akhadas everywhere, in every nook and corner of Indian villages, and they are doing mud wrestling. They are fighting in mud. And like me, when I started my work on internet, the wrestling was not so popular, but when it came on internet, people watched it, the wrestler watched it. So, and like Sushil Pahalwan and Yogeshwar Dutt and these Pahalwan who just won medals for India. So wrestling started picking up, and now we watch every day. There are many people who are organizing dangals, and organizing a competition is the main source of wrestler getting in, and more people are getting in, and the wrestling is picking up its space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.